Donnell Inniss, 23 years, from East Port of Spain, was charged for the murder of Ronald Etienne, who was shot to death in September of 2009. Now, Inniss waited nearly 14 years for his day in court. On April 21st, 2023, Judge Carla Brown Antoine found Inniss not guilty of murder from a judge-alone trial. It took 11 more days for the DPP's office to drop some of the gun charges that were against him related to that murder and to entangle the situation with his bail and other gun-related charges. On May 2nd, Inniss finally walked out of prison and is a free man, now 37 years of age. Well, we have Mr. Inniss on the line with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Let me start the conversation by simply asking you, what was your life like before being arrested for what was deemed a murder, of which you were then found not guilty of? Describe to us the life that you lived prior to your arrest.
My life before, as a family W. Jacob, I used to do plumbing in St. Augustine. And I know my life before, and then I quit plumbing because the money was kind of little, it wasn't enough. And up into selling marijuana for a living because I live in the ghetto, you know. I will be truthful to you, know.
Yeah, so of course.
And after selling marijuana, I got mixed up with certain friends and things, bad company, you know. Because in the ghetto, it's not perfect. It's kind of hard in the ghetto. After I get mixed up with certain friends, I start to get mixed up with the law. I guess I got a case charged of shooting behind someone, but I was innocent because the case come and drop after. Then after I got caught up for this murder. So the life before was kind of ruggy, up and down, you know. Average ghetto youth.
Now, what were your charges? You were arrested for murder, but according to your story, there were multiple charges stemming from that one case.
Well, yeah, what has gone? When you charge murder, right? So the system charge you for murder. And it's a shooting murder. Automatically, them just give you a gun charge, a shooting with intent, ammunition charge. Even if them in hold you with nothing, automatically these charges will be added on to you. Because them they say you had a gun and you had it be possession of ammunition in order for the person to die.
In order for the person to die, you say. Let me you said that how, you know, prior to your arrest, you were selling marijuana for a living.
I'm not saying it, sorry.
I said you were suggesting, not suggesting, that you said that prior to your arrest you were selling marijuana for a living because life was difficult. You probably got into the wrong crowd. Do you think because you got into the wrong crowd that your name was being called, that statements were being said about you, that you were the one that pulled the trigger when Mr. Etienne was murdered?
Yes, I will say that because Etienne had the ups and downs with the crowd who I used to be with, so them suspect somebody from the crowd had killed him. So yes, I will say that.
And is it that when the police arrested you, were there any witnesses who gave a statement, or was it just word of mouth?
No, it had a witness give a statement. Later on in my case, I find out a witness had give a statement one time. But the person who the witness gave the statement concerning had come and died some days later. So, like, before, when the thing now happened, the person who gave the statement called somebody else's name. And 2 months after, the person who was incarcerated, who called my name, well, then went with his statement and disregard the person who gave the statement at first.
Now, you ended up in the system trying to have your case heard, but, you know...
sorry, pardon?
You tried to have your case heard after being in the system. Describe to us that journey over 14 years of trying to have your case heard before a judge, even trying to make it to court.
Well, that journey is... all I could say, in jail I'm not really happy. It's supposed to be innocent, proven guilty. But it's more like you're guilty and you have to try to prove you're innocent. And trying to prove you're innocent, it'll just take a long while because I served in prison almost 12 years, or, no, sorry, almost 10 years before I got a date to go high court. And when I reached high court, I still had it to be waiting on the system to try to hear me out because it has can't really say nothing until the case starts in high court. And it come like that's on a shelf. And the shelf for your own, and I say, the prison is more like, to me, is more like a black site because the kind of things that has go through in there is kind of undescribable because it's really unhumane because sometimes to use the bathroom, the officers mightn't have enough time to take you out and you have to go right there in the cell and thing. So it kind of hard and inhumane, very inhumane. And you just can't let your voice get heard because them doesn't want to hear you first to begin. And that's what I hear your lawyer. And to describe your innocence, you have to wait until the case gets heard in high court, and that is a long time, as you could see, is after 14 years.
But you've said that how some of the things that you've experienced inside of there were undescribable, inhumane. You've even suggested that prison doesn't seem as though it's a place where justice is served. You've described your time in prison as, you know, being a form of slavery. Those were your words, if I'm not mistaken. Could you please tell us a bit more about your time there? And I know you said it's undescribable, but to your best ability, could you tell us about your experiences inside of prison? In remand, let me stress on that, in remand.
All right, in remand, right. First to begin in remand, you're in a cell for almost 22 hours and something. Right? You get an hour hearing, you get 10 minutes to come out for your morning diet, 10 minutes for your evening diet, 10 minutes for your lunchtime diet. The conditions within using the toilet and thing, you have to do everything in your cell. It have a drain right outside of the cell that you are in, where all the species and pee and things does go. So every morning you wake up, you have to be smelling this, feeling like, you know, like ammonia. So, and on top of that now, sometimes the jailers get real overcrowded. And it have a lot of people that fall sick. So it come like chicken pox. If one person get chicken pox, it come like the whole jail will get it after a while because the space is right close up, and it don't have nothing implemented, you know, to isolate people and things. So it come like it is jumble up right there. Whatever come your way, you will get it, you know.
How many people were in the cell that you were in? How many cellmates did you have?
Well, it come like this. When you now come, you could end up in a cell with like 8, 9 people. After a while, the officers might get to know you and things, and they might ease you up according to the kind of discipline you have if you follow them rules, you know? Yeah, but for the average person, about 8 to 9.
So is it that, what you're saying is that dependent upon the relationship that you have with the prison officers in terms of whether it be through obedience or whether it just be through having to actually just follow their directives or whatever orders they give, no matter what it is, that is dependent upon how they will treat you?
Correct. Because officers have a way of treating prisoners, as I tell you before, you come like you're guilty until you can prove yourself innocent, because them have a way that them just go about it. I believe is the wrong concept, because it have a way like them is boss, you know, whatever I say go, even if sometimes them just say the wrong things because I'm only humans. You understand? Them have a way that them does abuse the power. Some of them, majority of them. You know, does abuse them power, and that's how you like, as you say before, a slave, you know? Come here, do this, do that. You know? Even as lining up for your diet, I saw inmates get slapped and things for that in having them jersey in them pants. Even if you now come for the first time and you don't know the policy, they will like sit here before them speak to you and you try to understand, well, yeah, what this is the policy, put your jersey in your pants, go for your diet, you know. As I say, it has some officers, very few, might do the right thing, who is professional in their work, you know, but it's very rare.
And, you know, just to tell us, you know, your daily diet, what was that like? What did breakfast, lunch, or dinner entail?
Well, your diet is like, for morning time, you get 2 hops. Sometimes it could be very hard. Sometimes soft, but majority of the times it's like rock. You'll get a stick of butter in one, and if peanut butter or sardine or corned beef, wherever come, you'll get about 1 teaspoon, sometimes 2, in a bread, and you'll get something called cocoa tea. Yeah, then sometimes the inmates just say the cocoa tea make with sulfur. Although I don't believe that, but that's describing the taste. At lunchtime, you will get a cup of rice with, even if they bring dal, lentil, peas, something called pinto beans, you will, red beans, anything, you will get about a half cup of peas and whatever meat them bring. Well, I never used to eat meat, but there's some strange looking meat in there sometimes. Them tell you is mutton and whatever. But sometimes for evening diet is the same routine as morning. 2 bread, whatever, stick of butter or whatever, and you'll get something called morbi. And for the average prisoner who do not have this kind thing, this is really hard to hold you up through the day, because then the evening diet, it's supposed to be dinner, you're collecting that about 3 o'clock, after 2, 3 o'clock. And after you eat that, you have to go through the whole night with just water alone. If you're the average prisoner and you don't have no family to support you and things, to go in the canteen and buy all those fancy things. So,
Now,
the diet, I will say, is failure.
there was some positive out of this, and I can't believe I'm actually saying that because
yes, it have positive out of jail. It's how you decide to go with it, but within the system and doing your case, it have negative in that, but it have positive out of it.
Well, you know, based off of the story that I've read, the positive out of it is you becoming a part of the
Debbie Jacob,
Wishing for Wings, yes, debate team. Yeah. Tell us about how you got into that. You even said that you've got into Bible studies. You even started learning CXC, English and history, making furniture from PVC. Speak to us about that particular journey that you would have undertaken whilst in remand.
Right. Well, to start with, them start to say to get rehabilitated, you have to be convicted because you could only fix a problem what them know you did. But as a remandee, coming from a background, as I tell you, a background as I was selling marijuana and things, although I wasn't guilty, I always saw myself as getting rehabilitated because at the end of the day, I went in jail as a youth man. So I say, well, I'm not going to sit down and waste my time and things. And it had these mentors used to come in and teach us certain things and things. So I decided to go any class I could go. I put in down my name, you know, no matter if it's school even, and I know I've passed that position, I still put down my name, I go in there. And I met this lady called Miss Debbie Jacob, and she was real patient with us. Plus, these people who come in and she programs not seeing us as prisoners. You know, them used to see us as normal humans. And Miss Debbie Jacob taught me a lot because I cannot even make a proper sentence. You know, she taught me a lot within English, within doing debate, understanding how to research, understanding how to rebuttal and certain things. She taught me a lot within making PVC furniture because I could still make that now. Could still make chairs and things out of PVC, out of something that people will think that you can't do it out of, you know, because PVC furniture is it does look like normal furniture when you cover it up and things, so then without it's PVC. That's with my spiritual growth.
Yes.
I met a pastor called Pastor Gill, Mr. Gill. And his way of teaching the Bible was a very, very good way for me because I really understand the Bible and get closer to my God, understand who Jesus Christ was, understand the torment he went through. Did God in flesh.
Mr. Inniss, did your family, did your family stand by your side? Are they still standing by your side today?
Yes, from day one, my mother, my sister, and my little brother had always stand by my side. Even my father, although he's not living with them, but from day one, them stand by my side.
Now, you've also said that when you were leaving prison, you didn't have that traditional celebration or raucous. In fact, you even requested that...
I'm not hearing you, sorry.
When you were leaving prison, you didn't have the traditional celebrations or raucous that you've described. In fact, you requested that one of the guards call you into a room, summon you to the office so that you could leave silently. Why?
Right, because sometimes even in prison, everybody does celebrate and thing, you know. I didn't see it as a celebration because I saw it as all my time done lost, you know. I was still kind of sad inside because, yes, I was overwhelmed with joy because I live in the place, but knowing that it had so much people still going through what I was going through, and then I never really saw it as a celebration, you know. Just on the outside, things kind of are way because as I know you heard it had numerous scenes where people follow people after jail time and thing, you know. They might want to hear that this person changed or this person don't be involved in what he was involved before, you know.
Yeah.
So I just keep it on the underlow.
How would you describe, in your eyes and through your experiences, 14 years lost, you were found not guilty. How would you describe the criminal justice system based off of your experiences?
It's upon my experiences and others because within the 14 years I saw a lot of people leave the prison after so much and so much years with the kind of evidence in them case. I will say the justice system failed because out of 100% of prisoners, I will say 80% is not guilty when you listen to an inmate case because it have a way that inmate does relate them cases to one another. And I used to study with an inmate called Mark Hernandez, and we all see how Trinidad and Tobago system has failed in many different ways because even with this bail for murder and people saying, well, you gain murder, man, bail and thing. They have to understand the fact that he is innocent until the system can prove it guilty. And as somebody being innocent with lack of evidence and things, supposed to be having access to bail. Because since I was a youth man growing up and thing, I was country like Jamaica, which is more populated than us, which is more under the poverty level than us. And we seen since back in then it used to have bail for murder because them is not sure that the person is guilty. And being not sure that someone is guilty, them supposed to have them right still, them ability to access bail and thing, especially with the type of evidence because majority, all the murder cases, evidence is like, I going into the station, yeah, I saw someone kill someone, them shoot them down the road by the corner, so. And yes, I sure nothing wasn't blocking my view, XYZ, and anybody could do that because them taking people with certain characteristics resembling yours or worse than yours, and still making them go as witness.
Mr.
And
Inniss,
the next thing them does do is them don't investigate the witnesses too, because someone could do a crime and call somebody else name and have all the details about it.
Mr. Inniss, we don't have much time left, but in fact, we're more or less out of time. But I must ask you, as you exited the prison and 14 years in prison, a couple points. One, what was your first act of freedom? How would you describe Trinidad and Tobago after being inside for 14 years? What, in terms of how it has changed in your eyes? And three, what is your steps now? What do you plan on doing with your life now?
Well, my first act of freedom was for my family and thing, you know, overwhelmed with joy, greeting them. Actually went and eat something good, you know, and for getting freedom after 14 years, it come like it has been kind of lost in a way because a lot of things has changed. A lot of buildings and places and things, you know, it has been kind of puzzled up. And my act now is to settle down. I went and see about my ID card and thing. And I'm looking to apply for work. Someone going and help me to get a government work. And no, that's to mind my family and thing, because before I enter prison, I had a baby on the way. And that child don't even know I am her father, you know. So that's another kind of implicated, you know, part of the story. I doesn't really want to speak about that part, you know.
Mr. Inniss, I want to thank you very much for joining me on AM Prime and for being brave enough to tell your story, to share your story with Trinidad and Tobago. You know, I'm sorry that you lost 14 years, but the mere fact that in that space of time, you also utilized it, whether it be learning how to debate, how to rebuttal, you know, learning English and history, Bible studies, but even now wanting to make a change and a difference by just focusing on getting your life on track, getting a job. So, listen, don't try your best not to even get back into you know, the life that you lived before entering prison, you know, with marijuana involved and the wrong crowd. You have a tremendous story, and I'm grateful that you're willing to share it, and I'm hopeful for you, sir, and I'm wishing you all the very best, because I know you can make a change, and I know it's going to be good. I know that certainly your life is going to be different now, but in the positive sense. I hope for that, sir.
Thanks very much. I believe anyone can change, though.